We are now talking to the major platforms, so we call them wirehouses, so Morgan Stanley, UBS, Merrill Lynch, Wells Fargo, and they are in deep due diligence, like, okay, what is this? We have to have a point of view now. While no major platform has yet put any of the spot Bitcoin ETFs on its platform yet, we think that's coming. We can tell from the kinds of questions they're asking. Ecosystem, authorized participants, market makers is a very lucrative ecosystem, and these wirehouses host many of them. We could scale to hundreds of billions of dollars.
Though it didn't seem likely, especially given her super bullish $1.5 million price prediction for Bitcoin, ARK Invest founder and CEO Cathie Wood is now even more bullish on the leading cryptocurrency by market cap. The reason for Cathie's newfound optimism for Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency industry is, of course, the hugely successful spot Bitcoin ETFs. Since the launch in January, with the exception of a couple of bad weeks, the ETFs have repeatedly exceeded all expectations and have taken in tens of billions of dollars. IBIT, in particular, has been a huge success. According to recent reports, the fund has surpassed the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust as the world's largest Bitcoin-based spot ETF. On May 28th, IBIT recorded $102.5 million in inflows, while Grayscale saw $105 million worth of outflows. The inflow brought IBIT's Bitcoin holdings to a total of 288,670 Bitcoin, higher than Grayscale's 287,450 Bitcoin holdings. Despite the rousing success of these ETFs, Cathie predicts that the inflows are about to get even bigger as the products permeate even deeper into the traditional finance scene through the wirehouses. According to Cathie, the success of these ETFs so far will pale in comparison to what's to come after wirehouses, consisting of popular household names like Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America, adopt Bitcoin on the platforms. Cathie predicts we will go from the ETFs taking in billions of dollars to taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. In addition, Cathie says several wirehouses are just on the verge of adopting Bitcoin, as exemplified by their increasing interest in the Bitcoin ETFs and the underlying cryptocurrency itself. Cathie expects the move to be so successful and lucrative for Bitcoin prices that she's updating her timeline for $1 million Bitcoin. Previously, she expected us to hit this massive timeline in 2030, but now she predicts it will happen much sooner. As we bring you clips from her recent fireside chat with Peter McCormack at CoinDesk's Consensus 2024 conference, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
A lot of people found ARK because of Bitcoin in our early days, and so they were in the retail space, individuals who were just buying for their own accounts. What has changed is we are now talking to the major platforms, so we call them wirehouses, so Morgan Stanley, UBS, Merrill Lynch, Wells Fargo, and they are in deep due diligence, like, okay, what is this? We have to have a point of view now. They actually have an index against which they're going to be judged, and that's an ETF, right? Now Bitcoin is part of how they're going to be graded. And while no major platform has yet put any of the spot Bitcoin ETFs on its platform yet, we think that's coming. We can tell from the kinds of questions they're asking. They're asking deep questions, not only about Bitcoin itself, but about infrastructure, ops, risks. So the heat is on because this is a new asset class. Bitcoin is a new asset class. It's a monetary system, to be sure, but it also represents a new asset class. What that means in our world is that as a fiduciary, someone looking after portfolios for people, a fiduciary has to consider a new asset class because of the low correlation with other assets in terms of returns and risk. And so if you add Bitcoin to an existing portfolio. If that is right, and this is low correlation asset, what that means is over time, returns per unit of risk will go up. So if one platform has Bitcoin and offers that opportunity of diversification and higher risk-adjusted returns, and another doesn't, then they're going to have a problem if this one's right.
How much bigger does these platforms, how much of a difference would these make?
Well, the ETFs are a wonderful structure. They can scale. You've got an ecosystem. This is not just the 10 companies or how many are still in operation. I don't know if any, I don't think any has outright failed yet, but the ecosystem, the structure is extremely flexible because the authorized participants, the market makers, are not inside one firm. We have dozens of authorized participants, and those are the big brokerage houses. So this is another reason they're being not forced into this, they're being lured into this, because the ecosystem, authorized participants, market makers, is a very lucrative ecosystem. And these wirehouses host many of them. So I think, you know, we could scale to hundreds of billions of dollars.
Last month, while speaking at a Bitcoin conference in London, Bitwise CIO Matt Hoogan also stressed the importance of wirehouses and how much of an impact they would have on spot Bitcoin ETFs. Hoogan explained that major national platforms like Morgan Stanley and UBS will vastly boost access to the Bitcoin ETFs, increasing the demand for these products multiple times over. Hoogan predicted we were only weeks away from 1 or 2 wirehouses listing the Bitcoin ETFs, and a few months before they all do. Hoogan noted that the continued success of these ETFs will force the funds to hurry their due diligence. During her chat with McCormack, Cathie discussed the changing political dynamics in Washington, especially concerning the cryptocurrency industry. Last Wednesday, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act. FIT 21 establishes a regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies and delineates responsibilities between the more crypto-friendly Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, and the Gary Gensler-led Securities and Exchange Commission. The bill requires that blockchain networks recognized as functional and decentralized be under the purview of the CFTC, while those recognized as functional but centralized will be under the purview of the SEC. According to Cathie, the bill is a huge victory for the cryptocurrency industry, made even bigger by the fact that 71 Democrats crossed party lines to vote in favor. This bipartisan support is a clear indication of the growing acceptance and positive outlook for the regulatory environment of cryptocurrency, instilling hope and positivity in investors. Let's get back to Cathie's chat with McCormack as the ARK Invest founder speaks further about the surprise Ether ETF approvals, changing political dynamics, and Donald Trump's recent endorsement of cryptocurrencies.
Oh, the read was it was not going to be approved. It was absolutely not going to be approved. So what happened? If it were to have been approved the regular way, we would have been getting questions, meaning from the SEC, and no one was getting questions from the SEC beforehand. So that was an indication, no go, just, we'll have to try it again. What happened in 1 week's time, and I truly believe this was one of the things that happened, is there was sentiment evolving around this FIT 21 Act in the House that, wait a minute, this thing is gaining momentum on both sides of the aisle. Wow, this could be an election year issue. This is an election year. So the administration, I think, basically said, oh, and the other thing that happened was former President Trump has become much more cozy with Bitcoin, crypto generally, and that week said he would accept campaign donations in crypto. So again, this idea, this is an election year issue, and then I cannot tell you, I was on the phone with our COO, and he was like, he screamed when he saw this come across, like, what? It was within 3 days of being denied. We were sure. We were sure it was going to be denied. And I think it was this campaign election year. You've got the legislative branch. You've got former President Trump. You had, rapid fire and boom. I don't think the wirehouses will accept, there could be these two, maybe Solana, maybe. But I don't think that the wirehouse platforms will want to do more than the majors, right? Just to give their clients exposure to this new asset class. What I do think is, and we have some of these, that private funds are going to sift through the thousands out there and probably find 20 or 30. But you're going to have to do a tremendous amount of due diligence because, as you say, there's a lot of nonsense going on out there.
And we had President Trump come out and say some very interesting, important things. What's your read on this?
Well, my read, but consider the source, is that Art Laffer is one of his advisors. And Art Laffer and I were just in El Salvador together. So. And I've watched Art's evolution. He's 83 years old. He has served, I think, almost every president, but after his experience with President Nixon, he has never been paid by any of these presidents, and I'm saying on both sides of the aisle. And he is more excited about Bitcoin, and I've known him since 1976. He was my professor at University of Southern California, USC. I have not seen him more excited about anything. He's 83 years old right now, more excited about anything since Proposition 13 in California, which was property tax reform. But he's more excited about this because it has ramifications for the world, not just at that time, California.
In related news, BlackRock's IBIT and other US spot Bitcoin ETFs continue to record significant demand and inflows. On Wednesday, the Bitcoin-based ETFs recorded the 12th consecutive day of inflows, the longest streak of positive flows since the 14-day record set in February. On Tuesday, IBIT recorded $102.5 million in net inflows, followed by Fidelity's FBTC, which drew $34.35 million. They both recorded significant, though smaller, inflows on Wednesday. The 11-spot Bitcoin ETFs have recorded a total net inflows of over $2 billion in the past 12 days. Cathie predicts that these figures will multiply rapidly when wirehouses finally give the green light, a feat she believes could be only weeks away. Please share your thoughts on Cathie's interview in the comments below. Also, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks for watching.